Assalamu alaikum. I'm Zahir Khatri, founder of Learning Roots, the world's leaders in creative Islamic education publishing for children, having fulfilled over 250,000 resources in multiple languages across the globe. Welcome to this free video series entitled Read and Rise, and thank you so much for watching. The focus of this training is to unveil the key secrets that you need to know to get your child to recite the Quran fluently in a way that's fun, fast and firm. So if you have a child or student at madrasa that's struggling to learn to read the Quran with their qaida, and you really want them to enjoy that learning journey so that the Quran stays with them throughout their lives, then you're going to learn ways to make your child recite the Quran confidently with so much fun without any slow progress, boring lessons or content that they quickly forget. So if you're a parent who sends your child to a madrasa but you aren't seeing the kind of progress you'd like to see with your child, or if you're a madrasa teacher or head teacher and you're looking to relieve the stress and frustration that comes with teaching so many children in classes, just hang tight because I've got you covered. Now you can see for yourself that there are major shifts happening in our times with the modern culture that we live in that are having a deep and direct impact on our children in the way that they think, behave and learn. So it's really important to up your parenting and teaching game now before the effects on your children become almost irreversible. Before we dig in, I've got to warn you about something that's really important, and not paying attention to this will virtually guarantee the same slow progress and boring learning journey that your child may be experiencing right now. The way that your child learns Quran will impact their relationship with the Book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for life. Learning Quran should never be a long, tiring journey devoid of any connection, understanding or enjoyment. But sadly, that's the way so many children feel when learning the Quran. They spend years turning up to classes they don't look forward to and make painfully slow progress. But it doesn't have to be this way. If we figure out a way to make things fun, faster and more enjoyable, we're not just making Quran learning journey pleasant, we're associating the Quran with positive, happy memories for life. As a busy parent, you may be thinking that teaching your child to read the Quran is the madrasa's responsibility, and it's not something that you have the time or the expertise for. And as a madrasa teacher or even head teacher, you may be thinking that this is just another resource like all the others out there, and there's nothing really different out there that's going to make a real impact on the learning process, especially if the lack of revision at home remains a problem. But you'll be pleased to know that this is not something that demands time or expertise from you as a parent, and as a madrasa teacher, nor is this just another repackaged resource like all the others out there. I'm sure you'll agree, trying to make your child fluent in Quran isn't always as simple as people sometimes make it seem. It comes with its challenges. It's hard to see your child or your students not progress smoothly in something as important as the Quran, or knowing that the way they are learning or being introduced to the Quran really isn't that endearing. And so you think that even if they do eventually learn to read, will they really cherish the Quran and take it as a source of Iman building and guidance in the future? That's why in this video series, I'm going to demystify the process of getting children fluent in Quran the fast, fun and firm way, which is going to save you a lot of time and frustration. In this first video, I'm going to share a proven process that we developed after years of trial and error with hundreds of students. This process will serve as a tremendous resource for you to eliminate the common progress pitfalls that children make and provide years of confidence in knowing that your children will progress confidently with their Quran learning right from the start. Maybe you're just thinking about helping out your child at home with their madrasa lessons, or maybe you're a madrasa teacher or head teacher, but you want to dramatically improve the learning process of your students. Either way, you're in the right place, because after video number 1, you'll be confident knowing that your child is off to a solid start. We developed this framework because we saw so many people who want their children to have a beautiful Quran learning journey full of happiness and joy, but they're getting completely sidetracked with slow progress. For example, we saw one parent who sends their child to a madrasa trying to finish the Quran as soon as possible, but their child was stuck on just the letters section for 2 years. Then we saw a madrasa trying to deal with bad student behavior, but was struggling because they didn't have the fun and engaging learning process in place. I could go on, but we knew that people needed clarity, because to be honest, that's my story too. Before I outline the Read and Rise method and the specifics for each step, you might be wondering how I got into all this and how I figured it out. Let me tell you, so you can understand where I'm coming from. As parents, my wife and I knew we wanted our daughter to have a great Quran learning experience, because it would stick with her for life. We were quite picky about where we would send our child, but truth be told, we didn't have much choice. We either had the old school madrasa at our local masjid or online lessons with an independent teacher. Neither option was too appealing, At the local masjid, the children didn't seem happy to be there, and the online teacher lacked the in-person interaction that we knew was essential to a good learning experience. So we decided to teach our daughter ourselves at home. We took special care to make every lesson really special and fun, because that was our main aim. We didn't just want our daughter to recite the Quran, we wanted her to have an unforgettable, happy memory learning, so that she loves to recite the Quran every day throughout her adult life. So we looked at every detail of the experience, from the materials we used, the way we taught the lessons, the speed of the lessons, the way she revised, the way we tested our daughter, the way we rewarded her and celebrated her progress, and the way we ensured that she was ready and well-grounded to start reciting the Quran. It was hard work, but it was super fun, and alhamdulillah, we achieved our goal. In less than 6 months, our daughter had gone from knowing just the Arabic alphabet to reciting the Quran with full tajweed. We were so proud of her, and when our friends heard about our success, they started sending their children to us to learn too. And before we knew it, our living room had turned into a little madrasa. With all these children now using the system we developed, we were able to refine and develop the process so it wasn't something that worked for some children, but rather it was something that worked for any child. In fact, we took this development so seriously that we published our very own qaida called Read, which had all of the fun features that we'd like to teach with, like sticker rewards, a nice clean layout, short and fun lessons, as well as material considerations like making the book durable and long-lasting. And while that book became a great hit with other madrasas worldwide, the real secret behind its success is the way it is taught. It allowed parents who were not confident of their own pronunciation and had little time at home to sit with their children to still be part of the experience. And now hundreds of students have graduated to reciting the Quran with tajweed using this system, and typically students complete Read in about 9 to 12 months. And when they do so, they really know their stuff, because the way they've been taught makes sure of it. But we didn't just want these results to be limited to the places where we taught Read. We wanted to make it something that every Muslim parent and child on the planet, no matter where they are, can access and succeed with. So we continued our tireless work to refine the Read book, codify the course, make it easy, understandable and accessible to anyone, and we also introduced some key technology that made it possible for the system to be experienced anywhere. All that work is something that we've kept under wraps up until now, so that parents who are experiencing slow progress with their children's Quran learning journey, who are not confident of their own pronunciation and tajweed, and for madrasa teachers who find it really hard to excite their children about the Quran, now have a way to change all that, just like we did for our daughter all those years ago. Once we got past the false belief that Quran learning had to be done the traditional way, we started seeing massive results. We've now graduated hundreds of students in the same fun, fast and firm way. And the really amazing thing is that it's not just about reading the Quran. Our children have so much fun learning the Quran that they love to recite the Quran when they're older, because they always associate happy memories with it. How amazing is that? But this story doesn't stop with just us. Everything we're about to share with you is the exact same plan that we followed to get our children reciting Quran fluently. And it's the plan that led us to experience continued happiness with our children's Quran relationship. More importantly, this means we've got peace of heart and mind with this issue, alhamdulillah. And that's what we want for you too. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't looking for a better solution to your child's current Quran learning journey. That's why we want to make things easy for you. So let's get into the focus of this first video, revealing the 3 secrets behind rapid Quran learning progress. Are you ready? Let's get started. Secret number 1, find your why. You need to deeply connect with why you're teaching your child the Quran in the first place, because the issue of why you're doing this will effectively be the drive that you go back to. You've got to really want it from your heart and understand the rewards that are behind this noble deed. And the more you connect with your why, the more you'll be driven to progress with the journey, especially when the going gets tough. So you have to reconnect and renew your intention and be conscious of it every single lesson. Let's face it, there are parents out there who are simply going through the motions with pickups and drop-offs following cultural norms. In some communities, it's the done thing to send your child to a madrasa in the evenings or weekends. Some parents may even think that the madrasa is like a magic pill that will transform their child into a fluent reciter of Quran with little or no contribution from themselves, other than the pick-up and drop-offs. The reality is, however, that to reach the goal, it needs everyone's support. And to make progress towards that goal, everyone needs to connect with their why, including teachers, parents and children. After all, we all want our children to be great Muslims, and for our hearts to beam with happiness and peace at the sight of our children reciting Quran perfectly without being told to do so, and for it to be a source of fulfillment and reward for them in this world and the next. So for that to happen, and for us to experience all of that joy, we all need to connect with our why, and make our intention purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, expecting His great reward for raising children as reciters of His words. And with good intention will come barakah, inshaAllah. Secret number 2, know how it works. Now that we have the why sorted, the second issue that needs sorting is the how. How do we go about teaching our children to read the Quran? As you're probably aware, this process has been going on for centuries, and the learning is mainly based on a genre of books called qa'idas, which means principles. That's because these books build on lessons from a foundation of letters, then sounds, then vowel sounds, until they progress to the full suite of elements that a reader will need in order to recite the Quran perfectly. However, even though the structure of these books is very logical, progression through these books is not so uniform. This means that children will spend a longer proportion of time at the initial stage of the book, which teach letters in their different forms at the beginning, middle and end of a word, and then they build on that foundation and progress onto the next stage of applying short vowel sounds. At each stage, children typically spend less time in proportion because they're building familiarity and strength as they progress. Along with the longer time required at the foundation letter stage, it's also important to understand the need to fully master this section. We'll discuss mastery later on in video 3 of this series, but for now it's important to understand that the Qa'idah books can be described as being mathematically linear in progression because the language of Arabic itself is inherently very precise and mathematical. Hence, every lesson builds on the previous one, so every lesson has to be mastered before you move on to the next. What that means is lessons at the beginning of the book, namely those of recognizing letters quickly, are key to rapid progress throughout the rest of the book, and failure to properly master these lessons will lead to slow progress and frustration later on down the line. Now, in the incredible tool that we'll be revealing at the end of this video series, we'll show you how we've designed a way to accelerate progress across the entire Qa'idah by focusing on making the foundation stage of letter recognition something that's fun, fast and firm in your child's mind, setting them up for rapid progress for the rest of the course. Secret number 3. There's no substitute for hard work. So we've talked about the importance of why as it relates to the progress of your child, and we've talked about how to understand the mechanics of the process in these books that are typically used to teach reading the Quran. We now move on to the other key issue which will affect progress, which is the issue to do with the daily work that goes into every single lesson. It's really important to be disciplined in your approach. One way to know if you're on track with this is to check the number of breaks that your child is taking during the course of studying the book. Having long breaks between lessons is easy to spot when you take extended and frequent holidays that breaks momentum. Momentum is one of those key things that's very difficult to build up and very easy to break, but it's also very fruitful when you have it. So it's quite fragile, and things that are fragile generally need more protection. But it's not just long breaks that harm momentum. Many children who attend lessons but are not present and mindful in their lessons will experience the same lack of momentum in their learning. One of the other key factors that relates to this issue of progress is the social dynamic of having competition amongst children. This is an external influence that's highly effective in increasing the progress of children through the Quran, as countless parents and teachers will attest. It's helpful to use a healthy level of competition to push children, so long as the comparisons are not having an adverse effect on morale and reflect badly on behavior of individual character, but rather focus on the efforts instead. Another great technique that's seldom used is that of a timer. This is something that is quite unique and we've found works really well for many children. Next time your child has a line to read, use a timer on your phone and challenge your child to complete their reading before the time runs out. This form of measurement is great, not only as feedback for a child, but also sharpens their concentration and effort. And that's a key point. Children may attend madrasa for 2 hours or more, but they may only be actively engaged in learning for a few minutes, perhaps even 10 or 15 minutes out of a 2-hour lesson. And the same thing can happen at home as well. So it's important that every moment that is spent in learning is spent with intention and intensity. And this timer technique is something very useful to achieve that aim. In the incredible tool that we'll be revealing at the end of this video series, we've made a way to completely automate this timer feature in a way that's simple for any parent or teacher to apply and enjoy the amazing effects that this technique has on driving progress. Along with these techniques, it's important to celebrate small wins along the way. Simply saying well done or making dua for your child or saying a kind word can be enough. The amazing tool that we'll be revealing at the end of this video series helps you celebrate reaching milestones too. Children need to feel and see that they're making progress, and they need to feel appreciated for doing so, not just at the end of the course, but also along the way as well. Celebrating small wins and having a way to visualize their progress is a key element to drive progress. Now that you're clear about the path to progress, the big question is, how do we ensure that progress is fun so that you build a positive memory through it? Hands down, this is the most important key to anyone's growth as a madrasa teacher or head. If you can't make the learning journey genuinely enjoyable, then your children will continue to experience boredom and frustration. And that can lead to all sorts of problems like bad behavior during class, disturbing other students who are working, but worst of all, it can create a negative learning experience which is likely to affect the child's relationship with the Quran for life. So how do you make things fun? Well, that's what I'm going to show you in video 2. If you're a parent, this will serve as a foundation for a lifetime of Quran reciting with your child. If you're a madrasa teacher or head teacher, then you'll be able to quickly put this into practice and get your students excited for every class. Solving the fun issue is easy, and I'll show you how in video 2. But before that, we'd like to give you something special, as we'd like to do in all the videos in this series. Your free gift today is a personalized Quran bookmark. Think of the day when your child will complete their qaida and be ready for the Quran. In order to achieve any goal, it's important to visualize it as a reality. And that's exactly what this personalized bookmark is. It says your child's name alongside the words, "is a fluent reciter of the Noble Quran." Simply click the button below, enter your child's name on the form, and we're going to send you a personalized gift which can be used as a bookmark or even hung up on your child's bedroom wall, serving as a wonderful reminder. Best of all, it will be sent to your door absolutely free, provided you have an address in the United Kingdom and you're one of the first 2,000 people to respond with the correct entry. So please complete the form linked below and share this video with your family and friends who would also benefit from their children being fluent reciters of the Noble Quran. It will help them tremendously and you'll gain a reward from whatever good comes from it. Jazakallah khair. I'd also like to hear from you. Please leave a comment below in this video and tell me how long your child has been studying the Qaida for and when you expect them to finish. Or, if your children have already completed the Qaida, how would you rate the experience that they had? Leave a comment below and I'm going to read every single one and I'll respond to as many as I can. And again, if you found this video useful, please share it with friends and family using the link on this page. Next up, we'll talk about engaging children in the learning process by following a simple process for making lessons fun so that they can experience a lifetime of happiness and joy when learning the Quran. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.